Can you all see this screen now? I hope the screen is visible to you all. A voltage instantaneous expression V of t equal to 50 sine omega t plus 30 degree is applied to a series RL circuit with R equal to 10 ohm, inductive reactance 30 ohm. Determine current, active power, reactive power and power factor of the circuit. Hope this page is visible to you all.
Yes, sir.
Okay, very simple. Look at the workout. So easy and simple steps were put into. So here what we are supposed to understand is new thing, given you a voltage. Voltage is not given you as an RMS voltage. It is given as an instantaneous equation like Vm sine omega t, some plus or minus associated phase difference. Okay, this is called instantaneous equation. Now such a voltage is applied to a circuit comprising of R and L. Find out the current, active power, reactive power and power factor is asked. Let's say how we can write in a vectorial form this instantaneous voltage wave 50 sine omega t plus 30. How we can write it as a vector? It is very easy to write in the form as a polar because the magnitude is 50. We can see 50 is the magnitude, angle with which it is leading from the zero. Omega t is set as a reference. From this reference 30 degree it is advance going above that. That's called omega t plus 30. Then you can see this can be simply written by first principle. Capture the peak value as a magnitude, capture the angle is plus 30 or minus 30 and place inside the angle bracket. This become polar representation of the quantity. So you get back to the content, peak value I driven here, angle either plus 30 or minus 30 I driven into this angle bracket. This became 50 angle 30, a representation of this wave. Correct? Similarly, now in a rectangular representation, the inductive reactance of 30 ohm, resistance of 10 ohm is given to you. I can write impedance of the circuit as R plus JXL. If it is the inductive reactance plus JXL. If it is a capacitive reactance minus JXC, we should write. So using that 10 plus J30, nothing but rectangular form of representation. I can convert it to polar using the calculator. You can see both the answers are here, rectangular as well as polar form of representation. Then you are asked to compute current. It's very simple. If I know Ohm's law applied to this circuit, V by Z refers I. So you can see polar kind of voltage 50 angle 30, polar representation of the impedance 31.62 and angle 71.56. When I use this in a calculator in a complex mode, you must be very careful. Complex mode must be triggered and you will be using proper number of brackets and proper number of brackets later. View it as a rectangular form of answer first time. Shift plus when you operate on your calculator, you will be getting ANS R theta. Yes, first thing is 1.58. Shift plus when I shift equal when I hit, I'll be getting second answer. So this is actually a practice of complex calculation in the calculator. So this way, taking V by Z ratio, I can get peak current. So what is the value I have taken here? 50. 50 is a peak value. It is not a RMS value, but it is a peak value. Then when I use this inside the equation, when I calculate the current, this current is also peak current. With what angle? Minus 41.56. Now you will find current is lagging with the sign here. Minus sign indicates lagging. It's true that circuit is RL. When it is an inductive circuit, current always lags. That was the fundamental we have learnt while deriving. So therefore, we can write equation of current like voltage as what? 1.58. You can see here like Im sine omega t plus or minus phi. So here angle is minus, definitely become minus 41.56. Then here peak value is 1.58, sinusoidally progressing. Omega t is the angular progressing velocity because 50 or any frequency is not given. Simply omega t. Yes, let us make omega t minus with what phase angle it is below the reference. It is called minus 41.56. You can write here. This became your first answer. Then what is the second answer? Active power. In case of AC circuits, what is power? VI cos phi, active power. Definitely we have another power called as VI sin phi. We will see today what is that. So VI cos phi means we require applied voltage. Let's see. Whatever the voltage I have taken is 50 here. Now you can see what voltage I have taken here. 50 divided by root 2. This is called RMS voltage. I is called RMS current. To get RMS voltage and current, what I am doing? Peak value divided by root 2 and peak current divided by root 2 into cosine of the angle. So this 71.56, from where I got it? It is an angle between voltage vector and current vector. To get that, look into the voltage vector. What is the value of current voltage angle here? 30. From the 0 mark, it is 30 degree above the 0. And about the current, it is 0 mark minus 41.56. Between V and I, what is the total spread angle? 30 and other side 41.56. Together total spread angle is 71.56. So what is cos phi? Cos phi is the power factor angle. Phi is the angle between the voltage and current of that particular system or circuit. So therefore 30 and 41.56 together result to 71.56. So when I use this in a string, it results me 12.34 watts. Today we will learn something called as reactive power. What is this reactive power? Let's take another slide here. We know that active power, reactive power, apparent power are the three sides of a right angle triangle. We call it as a power triangle. So how do we get it again? To get this, we know that in case of series circuit study, whenever we had I into R, I into X, I into Z, we had some triangle. Hope you remember it. When you have inductive circuit, IR, IXL, I into Z, we had a triangle. Then current in this, if I delete off, what remained was R, X, Z. It became impedance triangle. So how I got this, I wanted to tell you in that perspective. IR, IXL, I into Z. This was a triangle. We got a relationship. Similar to that, when we have a resistive side, then the power consumed by this resistor, power absorbed by the inductor, total power delivered connected by three sides of a power triangle. So to get this, what we will be doing, suppose we have a system, inductive system, which is having a power factor lagging. Let us take you back to a inductive system here. Then you will be able to get that. Okay. I'll take you back to the derivation. Can you see this? Here I'll take exactly RL I'll take. Okay. Inductive system. So from this, when we represent a triangle, so this is VR, correct? When I take this with respect to V, where is that I? I is behind this by an angle phi. Am I right? This is the applied voltage, correct? This is the current flowing through the circuit, I. If I would have drawn this vector diagram such that V was horizontal, suppose you this orange vector, imagine this is lying horizontal. Then where do this I go? Below that. It means it is somewhere here. That is nothing but current is lagging behind the voltage. Same thing I am speaking. Instead of making it view this as your reference, I am speaking, suppose this was drawn horizontal, I vector will be below that by an angle phi. Then this particular V and I maintain a phi angle. Now, when I make this current I, a component of current along the V across the V, it is called as I cos phi, I sin phi. If I get the component of this, how can I do it? I cos phi, it become component along this V. I cos phi, projection of this along this V. It become I cos phi in line with V, correct? Then I sin phi vertical, nothing but along this. I will be having two component. One is I cos phi along this and I sin phi perpendicular to this. Then what I am doing, I cos phi and I sin phi. If I use here, you can just see here also I have written it here advance. I'll just go back here. Here. So I am having P equal to V I cos phi. I cos phi is a component of the current in series with V. Then I sin phi is the component in a quadrature with the V. You can see V I cos sin phi. It is quadrature. With respect to this, it is perpendicular. Then I have two sides. Those two sides are over here. One is I cos phi side results Vi cos phi as active power. I cos phi into V. Vi cos phi is the active power. The one which I had I sin phi into V. Vi sin phi. That is the quadrature component which is shown in the red arrow. It means it's very similar to this. Along the R axis, I'll get real power. Along the reactive side axis, I'll get reactive power. So this is quantified as Vi cos phi. This is quantified as Vi sin phi. When I take a vectorial addition of these two power, that represents total power. We call it as apparent power. Apparent power is sum of active power and reactive power. So we can take using the triangular relationship here using Pythagoras theorem. How can I write? Suppose S if I call as a apparent power, P if I call as a active power, and Q if I call as a reactive power. How I can write S equal to P square plus Q square under the root. That give me a total power. So therefore apparent power is the power constituted by active and reactive power of a circuit. Then active power is an adjacent side representation of the power triangle. Then reactive power side is nothing but opposite to this angle. This is the side. Together represent the total apparent power of a circuit. So this is how we have a link called as power, power factor, active, reactive, and apparent power relationship. So how I can understand this? With the side apparent power and active power, there is an angle phi. This is same as the phi of your V axis, I axis. This was V axis, this was I cos phi, I sin phi, this is I. When I make I cos phi, I sin phi, resultant, I cos phi, I sin phi. If I take it, become capital I into V become Vi. Vi is called apparent power, volt amps, we call it as volt amps. Volt amp with the power factor, active power. Volt amp with the sign of the power angle become reactive power. Together these two sides represent apparent power. Hence we have power factor angle is again revisited as angle between the vector complex powers apparent and the active power. I can get active power is Vi. If I say this is Vi, this is Vi cos phi. This side must be Vi sin phi. Then I can say Vi cos phi. When I take a projection of this along the horizontal, it becomes Vi cos phi. What about this? Vi sin phi, opposite side. So hence we'll get active power in a circuit is Vi cos phi, reactive power in a circuit is Vi sin phi. But its representation is VAR, volt amp reactive. Active power is presented as watts, correct? And total power, apparent power is mentioned as volt amps, like that. Then I have this relationship. Power factor is angle is the cosine of the angle between the vector V and I as well as S and P, apparent power and active power. Then I can write in a circuit relationship as R by, you can see this triangle if I refer inductive circuit, R by Z, you can do it. Then I can write, how can I write power factor? Power factor can be ratio of, you can see ratio of this adjacent side divided by hypotenuse, or R by Z, true power divided by apparent power, you can say. So for example, if power factor cos, this angle is 0, this side is almost coincide with this horizontal axis. Angle is 0, cos 0 goes 1. This is for purely resistive circuit. We can say in phase. In phase means this V and I sides are one another, same coincide. So therefore you can say phase angle at that time is 0. Suppose it is pi by 2. It goes shift vertically, pi by 2 plus or pi by 2 minus. So that goes 0. It is purely inductive circuit or purely capacitive circuit possess it as 0. So in between that, the value of power factor lie. So this is about the power factor, power active, power reactive, power apparent relationship by one slide we can understand. So therefore, now for my problem, I am in need of active power, which is Vi cos phi. When I want to get reactive power, Vi sin phi I will use. So that's what I wanted to make use of this particular problem. Reactive power, whenever it comes, you can see Q equal to Vi sin phi. You just watch the units of that. It is not watts, it is VAR, var, volt amp reactive. So it is watts. The first one is Vi cos phi is watts. Vi sin phi is var. So same terms, I have to substitute. Only thing is sin phi I have to mention. Correct? Then what is power factor of circuit? Ratio R by Z or cos of the angle. So therefore you have here current vector or current instantaneous equation is having the value of 41.56, voltage is having 30, total spread angle is 71.56. Cos of that is the power factor. So 0.316 is the power factor. But you can see lag is mentioned. How could we write a lag here? Why not a lead? It is, you have to see a circuit. What kind of circuit is this? Series circuit. First identity, it must be inductive. Then look at the current. Is it a minus phi or plus phi? Minus means lagging. That's what you have to attribute the word lag here. Hope you got this problem very simple, but you learned a new thing. What is reactive power calculation? Wherever the problem you get, compute reactive power, Vi sin phi we have to use. Okay, next. Moving to another circuit. I think this circuit this one we have not seen. Yeah, this one we have not seen. Let us revisit this. A coil consists of resistance of 100 ohm and inductance of 200 millihenry. So it is RL. If an alternating voltage V is given by 200 sine 500 T, omega is 500 here. Volts is applied across the coil. Calculate the circuit impedance, the current flowing, the potential difference across resistance and potential difference across inductance, the phase angle between the voltage and current. All the parameters have been asked here. So the first thing is the value of applied voltage is not given to you as an RMS voltage. It is given as an equation. Then you should see here 200 sine 500 T. From this, what is the peak value? 200. Then what is the omega value? 2 pi f equal to 500. Then you have to get 1 by 1 as per your requirement. So therefore, hence the RMS voltage is 200 divided by root 2 or 0.707 into 200. Both are same. It is 141.4 volt RMS. Similarly, inductive reactance XL. How do you get XL? 2 pi FL. Nothing but omega L. You can multiply 500 with inductance of the coil, 200 millihenry. That results you 100 ohms. Similarly, impedance of the circuit, how you can calculate? Under a square root R square plus XL square. So take the individual value, 100 square plus XL is also 100, square of that, add it inside square root, it results you 141.4 ohm. So you could get impedance of this RL series circuit as 141.4 ohm. Then current, what is the current here? Using Ohm's law, V by Z. V is 141.4. You should be very careful. You are not supposed to use the peak value of 200. Peak value is Vm. But when you want to compute the current, RMS value you want to compute, RMS voltage you have to use. Then it is RMS voltage is 141.4 divided by Z is 141.4. 141.4, it results me 1. Suppose if you use, what will happen? 200. 200 divided by 141.4 if you use, this current what you compute is not RMS, it is the peak current. Like your 200 is the peak voltage, like peak current you will get. Again, that divided by root 2 you have to operate. That will become 1 again. In that way, when is that IRMS comes, RMS ratio you have to take. Okay, then potential across the resistor IR, multiply it I into R. Potential across the inductor VL, I into XL is also 100. So therefore, you will find VL like this way. The last one is the phase angle between the voltage and current. So in the earlier class also we have seen the power factor angle can be taken by either cos function or tan function, whichever is favorable to you. So here tan phi is taken. Tan phi is opposite side divided by adjacent side. XL divided by XR inverse tan. If I take tan inverse 100 by 100, that give phi, that is 45 degree or pi by 4 radians. So this way you need to work carefully. So therefore, this is a very simple problem. Instead of giving you a inductor, if I give a capacitor, you will be able to get similar calculation in leading approach. Instead of I into XL, you would have got I into XC like that. You should be very careful in solving the problems. So let us take this one more problem. A coil of power factor 0.6 is in series with a 100 microfarad capacitor. You should be very careful in understanding the statements. A coil of power factor 0.6 means it is a RL circuit, is in series with a 100 microfarad capacitor. So it became RLC at the end. When connected to a 50 hertz supply frequency is given, not the voltage. The potential across coil is equal to potential across the capacitor. A situation is given. V coil is equal to V capacitor. Find the resistance and inductance of the coil. R and L of the coil you have to determine. See here, it is just an improved depth of problem. Here it is not given directly. Everything is given conceptually and you have to apply it to the real-time problem and extract the data of which is required. To go ahead with this, let's take a circuit RL, a coil having R and L drawn here, which is the impedance of the coil Z, and series with the capacitor 100 microfarad. Then what is said to you? Voltage across the coil is same as voltage across the capacitor. Then if current flowing through this circuit said to be, suppose say I into Z is equal to I into XC. This is the outcome of reading of this problem. That's what is written here. As per the given instruction, I into Z must be equal to I into XC. Ultimately, what we are supposed to get? Resistance of the coil, inductance of the coil, nothing but R and L, which is there in the Z. So when I get Z value obtained from the Z, I have to separate R and L individually. To do that, first we have to obtain Z. That's called I into Z equal to I into XC. So let us operate. I and I cancel off. Z equal to XC. And what is XC from the given data? 1 by 2 pi f C. It is given 2 pi f 50 hertz, C 100 microfarad. When I numerically simplify this leads me 31.83 ohm. That is called 31.83 ohm is the capacitive reactance. That itself is the impedance of the coil as per the scenario given. It need not be in the real time, but it is in the problem. Both are same. Then Z must be equal to 31.83. Now, from this Z value consolidated obtained, how to get R, how to get L? For this, again, you go back to the power triangle here. Let me go back and tell you. This was the thing you have said. You got X. You need to know R. You need to know X. So Z cos phi is R. Z sin phi is XL. So from the given Z, if I know this angle, Z cos phi is R. Z sin phi is XL. Then this angle must be given. In the problem, power factor of the coil is 0.6 is given. Power factor value is given, inverse 0.6. If I take cos inverse, that become an angle, I can get this. So therefore, or power factor is R by Z. R by Z equal to 0.6. R I can get. If I know R, Z square minus R square equal to X square. I can do it. You can just see here. Similarity is worked out. Where is that problem? Here. This problem, Z I got, R and L I want to calculate. Then cos phi. What is cos phi? 0.6 given. So cos phi is R by Z. You can see R divided by Z is cos phi. So therefore R is Z cos phi. You can operate it. So when I operate 19.098 ohm, I'll be getting. If I get R, if I know the Z, is there any difficulty to get XL? No difficulty using triangular relationship with the Pythagoras relation. Z square equal to R square plus XL square. I can get XL. Or like R equal to Z cos phi, XL is Z sin phi. Then get the value of XL. From the XL, what is L? XL equal to 2 pi of L. So L you can determine. L stand as 0.081 Henry. This is how you can get the concept understood. So the same thing, if you reuse yourself a circuit with the power factor 0.6 in series with a inductor 100 millifarad or 100 millihenry. In fact, microfarad, I'm speaking 100 millihenry or microhenry. When connected to 50 Hertz, potential difference across the circuit and potential difference across the coil are same. Find the resistance and capacitance of the circuit. I can tell. I just twist this problem as if there is a RC here, L is outside. Same logic I can use, I can solve. So this way you have to understand the concept involved in the problem, which is that parameter you are trying to determine and how you determine. If you get that, you can solve the problem. Okay. So take this problem as a simple approach and try to work yourself. Then next problem, there is a small problem given to you. A current in the expression format 10 sine 314t minus 10 degree. A current is having minus 10 degree lagging with respect to omega t, correct? Ampere produces a potential drop. It creates a voltage across a circuit. What is the voltage? V equal to 220 sine 314 plus 20 degree volt. This is the voltage observed across a circuit. When certain I given by the equation flow through that circuit, voltage across that circuit V is 220 sine 314 plus 20 volt. In a circuit, find the values of circuit parameter assuming series combination. It's very simple. You have been given applied voltage or a voltage viewed across the circuit. Current flowing through a circuit is given. If I take V by I, what I'm going to get? I'm going to get impedance of the circuit. From the impedance, I should get like this, Z cos phi, Z sin phi, to get R and XL separated. So for that, what will be done? V, what is V? 220. What is this 220? 220 is a peak voltage. So when I want to calculate the impedance, either I can work ratio of RMS or ratio of instantaneous. So I am working ratio of RMS here. 220 divided by root 2. What is the angle associated with this voltage? Plus 20, angle 20. And when it is current, 10 divided by root 2, angle bracket, lagging angle, minus 10. So this is called polar division. Division of complex quantities in polar notation. So you must be working this carefully in the calculator. So therefore, once you work this out, you will be getting polar as well as rectangular kind of representation for impedance. And from this you can see, when it is a complex rectangular, the first term is resistance, second term is inductive reactance. So we can directly do it. Then suppose frequency you want to calculate. In case of omega t, omega stand as 314. And what is omega for you? 2 pi f. So 2 pi f, if I use, I'll be getting f as 50. Then when I get R, when I get XL, how to get L? L is XL divided by 2 pi f. To get this f, this was a step. So therefore it is 11 divided by 2 pi 50. When I operate this, that become 0.035 Henry. So this is how 35 millihenry can be obtained. Very simple. Numerically, it should be very clear in terms. This way we can understand. There are numerous problems possible in series circuit. So one more we will understand. This is RRL kind of problem. You can see here a coil of inductance 159.2 millihenry and resistance of 20. It means a coil. You can just see a drawing here RL. This coil is having a parameter 20 ohms and 159.2 millihenry is connected in series. This circuit coil is in series with another resistor 60 ohm. Can you see here? 240 volt whole combination is connected across 240 volt 50 hertz. Determine the impedance of the circuit. Whole circuit's impedance, obstruction or opposition for the current. That is called impedance of the circuit. The current in the circuit. What is that current enter this combination? I. The circuit phase angle. Entire circuit's power factor angle. Angle between applied voltage and current resulted. That's called power factor angle. The potential difference across 60 ohm. So like this VR, you can see here something is marked as a V capital R. That is the voltage across capital R, which is 60 ohm, and potential across the coil, whole length of RC and LC. So this is V coil. So we have to find. Draw the circuit phasor diagram. Means you have to draw representation of the circuit by vector, which is rotating vector, nothing but a phasor. So therefore, let us understand the circuit. There is a coil, 20 ohm, inductance 159.2 millihenry, a series R60, 240 volt 50 hertz, V coil VR. This is what the terminal description we need to do. Once we are able to do terminal descriptions as per the problem, let us take one by one. You need to calculate total impedance. Total impedance is resistance here, resistance here. I have to find net resistance. There is only one inductor. What is the inductive reactance of that? I have to calculate. Therefore, total resistance square, total inductive reactance square inside a square root give me impedance. So what are we doing? See, XL I'll do first. XL is 2 pi FL. If I work it out, it becomes 50 ohm for me. The inductive reactance of the coil stand as 50 ohm. But we know resistance of that is 20 ohm. External resistor is 60 ohm. Now I got 20 ohm, 50 ohm, 60 ohm. I am in a position to calculate circuit impedance as Z equal to under the square root R total square. What is R total here? 60 and 20 together, it is 80 square, correct? Plus XL 50 square under the root, which stand as 94.34 ohms. Then this is the first value impedance. The current you want to calculate. The current is again using Ohm's law, V divided by whole impedance, V divided by Z when I take at to become I. You can see here I equal to V by Z. So 240 divided by 94.34, it is 2.544 ampere. So you can do the required current calculation very easily by V by Z. Then let's draw one more rough sketch here. The total resistance of this circuit become 20 plus 60, that is called 80, and inductance of 159.2 or its XL equal to 50. So it is connected to 240 volt 50 hertz supply. Now what is the circuit phase angle? The phase angle of an entire circuit. If I want to know, I must consider where is the voltage, what is the current, in between the vector V and I, what is that angle? That is what is the circuit phase angle. So how do I get this? To get this, you have to go back to, this is total R, total L. RL series circuit concept I have to revisit. So I'll take you back. Can you see this RL series circuit? So this phase angle, this is an angle. So here I have R, here I have XL, here I have Z. Hope you are remembering. You can see here, I is V by Z, adjacent side is R, opposite to the angle I have XL, hypotenuse is Z. Then how to get this angle? I can take tan inverse of XL by R or R by Z equal to cos phi. From there I can get the angle. So you have two ways to do, multiple ways in fact. At least tan function and cos functions are much more practiced. So let's come back to the problem. So I was here, correct? So what is being done? Arc tan, inverse tan XL by R total. Nothing but inverse tan 50 divided by 80 give you 32 degree. So lagging is inherited because of circuit is having inductance in that lagging. So this is the part of phase angle between the phase angle of the circuit. Next is voltage across the 60 ohm resistor. What is the voltage across this? What is the total current? If I know current into 60 give you voltage across the resistor, that you can see 2.544 into 60, 152.6 volt. We could get voltage across the resistor, external resistor as 152.6. Then what is the voltage across the coil part of the circuit? This coil is consisting of what? 20 ohm resistor and 159.2 millihenry inductance. Voltage across this is, you have to find out Z of this coil multiplied by I. That's what is done here. I into Z coil, where Z coil again I have to calculate. How I can do? 20 square plus XL was 50. So it is 20 square plus 50 square inside the square root. That becomes 53.85 ohms. So all the fundamentals are getting revisited one by one. So you have to concentrate on each individual solution, how it is being done. Okay, so voltage across the coil stood as 50. What is that? Voltage across the coil? It is Z coil of 53.85, 2.544 into 53.85 as 137.0 volt. So we could get V coil. Now, and the last question asked is draw the phasor diagram. Nothing but you have to draw a representation of vector VC, vector VR, vector V and associated representation. To draw that, you require voltage across the inductor, voltage across the resistor part of the coil, I into RC, I into XL, I into capital R, whatever I have. All these sides are required. So we got VR. We should get V across 20 ohm, V across inductor. You can see here for the phasor diagram. So VL equal to I into XL. So this is 127.2 volt. V coil, inside I have RC 20 ohm, 20 into 2.544. It is 50.88. Now I got voltage across the impurity part of the coil, which is CRC, voltage across the inductive reactance part of the coil. Then total vectorial sum VRC plus VXL is V coil. Then V coil vectorially, when I add with the VR, that become applied voltage 240. Therefore, to start with, where is that VR? You can see horizontal side here. So short length of V coil. What is the voltage? 50.8. A rough sketch to some proportionate value, 50.88, to which what I should add? 127.2. Vertically up. You can see here 127.2. Add vectorially. Resultant is here. What is the resultant of the coil? V coil. What was that voltage? 137. If I add 127.2, 50.88 vectorially, not algebraically. It is called small length here, bigger length here. When I take resultant is V coil. So this V coil is to be added with VR to get a total 240. Then this resultant is in this fashion. Can you see this resultant? Then what is VR? I into 60. What is the 2.5 to 60? 152. You can see from this mark, there is a marking of VR here. VR and V coil dotted. You make a parallelogram of forces like resultant if you extract. The diagonal gives you resultant of 240. This way, you need to construct the diagram. Let me repeat it. To construct I into RC, just say VRC. Then I into XL perpendicularly upward. Can you see this? Then take resultant of these two vectors that become diagonal of this, which is 137.7, because we got the answer here. Simply we have to represent it geometry. By the geometrical drawing, I should present it by content here. Then this VC, when I add with VR vectorially, then I'll be getting 240. Then VR is here, VR, mean V coil is here, VR is along the same axis, because you know in case of resistive circuit, voltage and current are in phase. So along with the IRC side, I'll be projecting forward with the suitable scale voltage of how much voltage? 152.6. Then join these two in the form of parallelogram of forces to find the resultant. Then the total resultant value diagonal show you 240. Just you have to reflect this way. This is actually called as a RRL kind of circuit. So this way we'll be able to draw a vector representation. Then moving to the next interaction here. A current of 5 ampere flow through non-inductive resistance in series with the coil supplied by 250 volt 50 hertz. The voltage across the resistance is 125 and voltage across the coil is 200. Find the resistance, reactance of the coil and power absorbed by the coil. This is one of the problem appeared in the exams. It means the scenario is non-inductive resistance like R1 here is in series with a coil. Coil is nothing but impure inductance. So it is having the impurity resistance and inductance part of that to 250 volt 50 hertz. As well, voltage across the external resistor observed is 125. Voltage across the coil is 200. You are just marking. If we add these two, will it represent to 250? No, it is called just voltage across this resistor, voltage across this coil. You cannot add arithmetically to get this. They should be added vectorially. Therefore, these two, if you add up, it will not result 250. That is first thing you have to understand. Okay. So these are the voltage across resistor and coil given. Then you are said, what is the resistance of the particular resistance of the coil and inductance of the reactance of the coil. Then power absorbed by the coil. To start with this, current flowing through this circuit, we have to draw the circuit. According to the understanding of this, we have to draw a rough sketch. The resistor external, input resistance, inductance and a parameter across that and confer. Then 5 ampere is flowing across that through this circuit. Am I right? Then if 5 ampere is flowing through this, 5 into R1 must be equal to 125 as per the given data. Voltage across the resistor is 125. How do I get 125? Current flowing through that into resistance. Current is given as a 5. It must be 5 into R1 must be equal to 125. It is given here. Therefore, what is R1? 125 divided by 5. I can get the answer of R1 directly from the first step itself. Then in the second step, I cannot get R2 X2 immediately. For that, what I should do? What is voltage given? 200. What is the current flowing through that? 5 ampere. 200 divided by 5. If I do, I'll be getting impedance of this. Inside the impedance, I have R and X separable. Then what I will do? Impedance of the circuit or inductive coil is 200 divided by 5, that is 40 ohm, which is equal to R2 square plus X2 square. You can see under the root. Yes. Or this can be given as 40 square equal to R2 square plus X2 square. Can you write this on a simple problem? Yes. Then impedance of this total circuit I can write here, that is given as 250 volt divided by 5 ampere. That give me 50 ohm. Look into this very carefully. This was impedance of the coil. How we did it? Voltage across the coil divided by current through coil. That gave me Z of the coil. Now what I am doing here? Impedance of the entire circuit, nothing but applied voltage total. This is 250. Current flowing inside this circuit 5. This ratio give me 50 ohm, which is mathematically written as R1 plus R2 whole square. You can see here R1 plus R2 whole square plus X2 square inside a square root, or else 50 square equal to R1 plus R2 whole square plus X2 square. So I have two equations. R2 square plus X2 square equal to 1600. R1 plus R2 square plus X2 square equal to 2500, in which R1 is known to me 25. If I drop R1 here, I will get R2 unknown. You can see on whose simplification, one step, second step, what I got? 25 square plus 2 into 25 R2 equal to 900. And again I have another equation. So by using these two equations, I can solve and get R2 and X2 simply. So therefore, this is how you have to use your knowledge, mathematical knowledge, to get the resultant. Okay. 5.5 square plus X2 square equal to 6. I am substituting this. Whatever the value of R2 I am getting, either in this equation or in this equation, second equation here, I am substituting. I'll be getting X2 value. So this is a trigonometrical relationship of the sides and values. So this way I can do simply. There is alternative method also. The same problem, if it is viewed alternatively, you can see total 250, hypotenuse longer, hypotenuse shorter. This inner triangle is of coil Rx. This is R, this is X. This is hypotenuse of the inner choke coil. Then this total hypotenuse is 250. It is given here, applied voltage. Then this 150 is external. This is R2. This is another method of solving by trigonometry. So for me, this looks comfortable because similar one we have solved. We can refer this, we can solve easily. So take care of this and we can do. So almost series circuit problems, we have seen all the varieties, and now we will move to last 5 minutes. What is that left off? What is that left off is simple parallel circuit. It is not that the inductor, capacitor, resistor must be always connected in series and said you to calculate some power, voltage across, something like that. They can be like this. We can see some circuit connection here. There is a resistor, inductive reactance in parallel with resistor and capacitor reactance. They are in parallel to a voltage alternating. So therefore, I can get to know what is Z equivalent of this. It may be a question to me, how to get Z equivalent of this? Because they are in parallel. How do I ensure parallel? Branch 1, branch 2, like your DC circuit concept. When you find same potential difference across each one of them, you may say them as parallel. You will find here applied voltage exists across branch 1, branch 2 as similar. Then it is in parallel. No matter what it is comprising of, RL, RC, doesn't matter, but they are in parallel. To get the Z equivalent, we obtain, you can see here, we call it as impedance 1, impedance 2. We can see here. Directly we are going to complex representation in rectangular format, 70 plus J60. Can you see here? And it is 40 minus J25. Capacitive reactances are represented by minus J in impedance form, and inductive reactances are represented as plus J. You can see here Z1, Z2. Then what is Z total? Like your two resistors in parallel, R1, R2 divided by R1 plus R2, how you do? Similarly, complex impedances when you are having in parallel, equivalent impedance of that is Z1, Z2 over Z1 plus Z2. See the substitution, Z1, Z2 divided by addition. Here you have complex product and complex sum totally at the end division. So this kind of complex calculation you need to do in calculators only. So what I suggest is using a calculator, you have to simplify numerator and denominator and finalize the answer. And the final answer stand as impedance of these circuits which are in parallel as 37 minus 5.9J, or in rectangular, when I convert it to rectangular to polar, become 37.69 and angle minus 9.06. So this minus indicates you the total circuit is inductively dominated. By chance I had this plus J here, or this angle is plus 37.69 plus 9.06. What it would mean? Circuit is definitely dominated. So this way I have to understand, or that will be understood when you calculate the current. Current is the one which determine that. If the current is leading, current is lagging, how we say? Current in inductor circuit always lags. That is determined by angle associated with the current. Meantime, this impedance is the one which give you the angle for that. So we will not worry that much. How to get Z total, Z equivalent, we have to understand. So in line with this, just view this problem. In the next class, we can go ahead. So we have been given two arms. First arm is having resistor, inductor, and a capacitor mentioned here. You can see here. And that is in parallel. That is in parallel with another circuit made up of resistor, capacitor. Yes, you can see. This whole combination is connected to 150 volt 60 hertz. Don't worry about the hertz and all. Worry about the connectivity. So we have RLC series circuit in the first branch, RC in the second branch. What is the total impedance of this? If I want to calculate, I can do it. Z1 I have to calculate. Simplify. What is XL? What is XC? What is Z? I have to calculate. As you can see here, XL 2 pi FL, XC 1 by 2 pi FC. Then what is Z? R plus J, XL difference XC. Whichever is dominating, whether the plus or minus determines this way. This is about the first arm. Similarly, second arm I have to do. That is in the next page. You can see here. Z2, XC is 1 by 2 pi FC. Then R2 plus JXC. You can see here. So if I use this, I'll be getting similar answer here. It's numerically different because the value of C2 is different than C1. So I can get the value of Z2. Very simple. How do I do? Z2 equal to R2 plus J XL difference XC. XL is 0 here because there is no XL in this part. There is no inductor here. So 0 minus J XC. When I simplify, I'll be getting in a rectangular format. And in the polar, I have to shift by using calculator. Now, at the end, what I did, I computed Z1, I computed Z2. Together they are in a parallel. How do I get Z equivalent? Just see this, Z total equal to Z1, Z2 over Z1 plus Z2. So I have to operate this complex multiplication and division. You can see, you can manually open a bracket, Z1, close a bracket, open a bracket, Z2, close a bracket, then divide by. So this step I have to practice. When I practice, I'll be getting the answer in rectangular as well as in polar. So this way I can get rectangular to polar conversion and understanding of Z equivalent. When it become a Z equivalent, what is the current flowing in this? V divided by Z equivalent become current here. So that's what is taken here. I total is V divided by Z. So 150 angle 0 divided by ZT, whatever I got here. This become current. This way, very simple. Parallel circuits are very simple. You may need to calculate Z total. You may need to calculate I1, I2. Instead of this I total, what may be asked? What is I1 here? I1 is V divided by Z1. What is I2 here? V divided by Z2. What is I1 plus I2. I can do other way also. So that is the work under parallel circuit. So simple parallel circuits are of that nature. Finding out the current through a branch, second branch, and the division of current or power absorbed by branch 1, branch 2 are the work we need to do in the parallel circuit approach. So